not take Kenya to the rigorous process of outdated manual process. This time and age, we have to be faster, we have to be digital, we have to be smart. And therefore, we want to challenge IEBC to execute their mandate as required by the Constitution. That's number one. Two, I have been cleared for Garissa Township. I'm not new to this field. I have been in this field as the mayor of this city before many of you went to school, I think, because I'm talking about 15 years ago or 20 years ago. It's a field that I'm familiar with. But most importantly, this is a contest between me and one Adam Duale of UDA. In other words, we are saying we want to deal with impunity that has been perpetuated in this constituency for too long. It is like a fiefdom, it's like a kinship that we want to deal with. We want to give democracy a space. We want to give young people a space. If one individual wants to overstay in power for 15, 20 years, not because of development record, but because of using clan muscle, using resources, that is what we call impunity. That's what we want to deal with. Two, this is the most cosmopolitan constituency in the north, the entire north. I'm talking about from Lamu to Turkana. Each and every face of a Kenyan community is represented in this constituency. And that is what I want to represent. We want to run a smooth and systematic campaign that is devoid of violence, devoid of clansism and tribalism, devoid of underhand dealings. I'm happy. I've been campaigning for the last 2 years, and most of the communities I have met in Garissa have confidence in me. They have not said otherwise. So far, the going is good. I'm happy. We want to deal with the elections in a very democratic manner. But one thing I want to point out is there are a lot of challenges in this particular constituency. When I was the mayor, I created Gawasco, and water was flowing from Tana River to Korkora and to Chumamrefu. Even the giraffe was drinking from Gawasco water. Unfortunately, there is no water today. When I was the mayor, we had an influx of people, courtesy of successive droughts. I settled them, I stood for them, and there was peace and tranquility. There was no war. There was no gun used in a land dispute. Unfortunately, today, we are losing people every day in a land dispute. In this modern age, you cannot have illegal guns in a democratic and civilized society. That is what I call lack of vision and leadership. That is one issue I also want to deal with. Perennial water shortage, insecurity, these are my top priorities, among others. You also know that we are challenged in terms of education because we don't have teachers in Northeastern. We have had somebody who called himself the third in command for the last 10 years, the majority leader, my brother Adam Duale. But he has not managed to salvage Northeastern from the bondage of an organization called TSC, which has marginalized our people. My priority will be to provide teachers, not only teachers, but enough and quality teachers for the people of Garissa Township. That is a pledge I want to give. The other one is food security. If you have noticed, people wake up in this town and they seek for handouts instead of going to the field and to work. There was no single contribution to food security in terms of agriculture. Because this is an urban constituency. We don't rear livestock here. So, my agenda will be to promote food security. Now, the talk of this town, we have to be very clear, is that elections are stolen. You can only win when you steal elections. That is primitive. That is primitive to tell our young children and youth that you cannot be anybody until you steal. What are we stealing? We are stealing votes, we are stealing resources, we are stealing ideas, we are stealing everything we do. That is unfortunate, and that is a culture that we want to stop. You cannot steal elections and purport to represent people in the National Assembly. Is that possible? It's something that we want to deal with. Lastly, my party is Jubilee. We are reviving Jubilee because those whom we have entrusted with that party have looted and destroyed the party and left with the loot. We are reconstructing Jubilee Party as a formidable democratic party within Azimio. Our presidential candidate is Raila Amolo Odinga. We have a stake in that government, and we are not supporting a government because we want to be gatekeepers. Because the people of Garissa have been treated to a situation whereby the elected representative becomes a gatekeeper instead of becoming a facilitator and an enabler for the people to enjoy government services and employment. So with Azimio, we have a policy. The policy is that one, to create a welfare whereby unemployed Kenyans will be getting money. We are going to deal with the issue of infrastructure. You have seen Nairobi, how it has been transformed since Ruto and Duale left Uhuru to work, because initially they have been manipulating him and stealing resources. You have seen how Nairobi is transformed. That is what we want to extend to Garissa and other places. And my pledge number one in that, and I have discussed with Raila Amolo Odinga, is to make Kismayu Road from the bridge to Chumamrefu a dual carriage way. You have seen the traffic signal, isn't it? This is a pledge I'm giving. But lastly, what we are trying to say is that we need harmony and cohesion in this country. There was a perpetuation. This country was subjected to an election mood for the last 7 years, courtesy of stolen resources. And when Martha Karua, the Iron Lady, is on board, we are going to do a forensic lifestyle audit on people who have stolen our resources. That is what is going to happen. It is a policy. It's a policy that I'm going to encourage and support because I have been the mayor of this town. I have not stolen your resources. There is no plot I have grabbed. I have not taken your resources. I was the boss of Lamu County. I have never stolen your resources. I abhor corruption. And we are going to hold people to account for their actions. This country has borrowed almost 9 trillion, and we have nothing to show for it apart from choppers, personal wealth, perpetuation of a campaign for the last 7 years, non-stop. If that is impunity, what do you call impunity? You cannot steal our resources and do a catwalk on us. It's not acceptable. So that is another issue we are going to deal with. What I want to appeal to the people of Garissa Township is that this is our city. This is the great city of northern Kenya. We have every community represented here. We demand to live in peace. We cannot afford to have gun-running cartels, grabbing of land. Where else have you seen somebody owning 100 acres in a municipality? Is that possible? This is what we want to challenge. So kuna kazi, vijana lazima tuende pamoja. We have to secure our future.
So, let's talk about stealing votes. Do you have faith in IEBC in the coming election?
I don't want to say I have no faith in IEBC, but there is a culture. People are trying to instill fear because they have gotten away with so much before that they think that they can still do. And as Azimio, you cannot steal voters. You cannot steal our votes. That's the number one. And those who steal votes are Aden Duale and Ruto. You know what they did in 2017 and 2013. 2013, there was hand grenade thrown in a polling center. Another one was thrown in Gamir Road to scare people. And we know what happened. Unfortunately, they are so much used to it that they cannot hide it. When you call people and you tell them, you know me, I'm coming back, I don't need your votes. I know how to come back. That is stealing votes. And we want to alert IEBC, we want to caution them. We want to actually be on record that they must ensure that there is free and fair election. And the people of Garissa Township get their choice. You know, there is what we call choice. Yeah, you cannot have people coming back every year, every now and then, courtesy of a stolen election. Anything else?
Thank you. 2 minutes.
Bismillah.
Thank you.
فين